What's going on, guys? It's Halloween VIDZ, and today I have a super exciting video because after I've had some time to fully look over and really just formulate opinions on everything, I will be ranking the entire Home Depot Halloween 2022 animatronic lineup. Now, a few disclaimers I wanted to get out of the way. Just because I rank something in a certain spot, like low on the list, or high on the list, in other words, doesn't mean I necessarily think it's bad. Again, these are just my opinions, so please take everything with a grain of salt. But also, I mean, there were just so many really great animatronics. So, of course, inevitably, some are better than others. So some may seem to be ranked really terribly, but they're still decent animatronics. I just don't want to make it sound like I was hating on certain ones that you may enjoy. While there are a couple in here that I really don't like, which we will get into, but most of them are really great. So without further ado, let's get into the ranks. Alright, to kick things off here at the number 13 spot is the animated CAULDRON witches. I don't know why Home Depot keeps making witch animatronics like these. I'm tired of seeing this seasonal vision, just generic witches. I just think they're bad, like, overall. They're very just unoriginal. And these ones in this video don't even seem to be working, which I kind of find funny. I just don't know why we keep seeing these. Who's buying these? I mean, I don't really see any people liking these, like, type of witch animatronics, and I'm also one of them. I just don't think there's anything special about it. It's not unique. It's very just boring. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that's the number 13 spot. An animatronic I honestly generally dislike. Alright, I won't talk too much about these guys, the pumpkin twins. They're just reskins from the ones last year. That's why I put them at the number 12 spot. Wasn't too big of a fan of them last year, so of course I'm not too big of a fan of them this year. They're just nothing I'm really interested in. They're kind of a little too kid-friendly for my liking. Nothing really I could use in a haunt or just anything really scary. But you know, they're alright. I'm not going to hate on them like those witches. They're not that bad. Alright, up next we have the Illuminated Wizard at the number 11 spot. Again, just a personal preference. Not really a big fan of wizards. I don't really see how he relates to Halloween. Not really getting Halloween vibes from him. While I do think he is cool, definitely a unique concept. We rarely have ever seen wizards. Just something I'm not really interested in, and I don't really think makes sense for Halloween. But yeah, that's just my opinion on him. I don't really think he's bad per se. I mean, his animation is also kind of lackluster with just mouth movement. So there's that as well. But then again, he's unique, so I'll give him points there. Not terrible, just something that I don't see being Halloween-y at all. So unfortunately, I do have him very high on the list, primarily, as I've said many times, just that lack of Halloween vibes I'm getting from him. But yeah, on to the next. Alright, next up, we have the animated faceless SCARECROW. Really great animation. I love the jump scare effect. It's like what Lumen Strawman from Spirit Halloween should have been, because I never found him as scary, but I can see this guy definitely scaring people. I just have him ranked high on these lists because I overall think his detail is very lackluster. Unlike the Inferno Scarecrow, correct me if I'm wrong, from last year, who had really phenomenal detailing, this guy's kind of lackluster, especially in the clothing. And the bottom half of him is literally just a stake, which, I mean, I guess it makes sense that he's a scarecrow. But I don't know, I just feel like there could have been a little bit more going on with his clothing and such. But not terrible. I do like the light up head too. I think it's another nice added touch. But yeah, not terrible, just kind of lacking in detail. So that's why he's at the number 10. Alright, for the number 9 spot, we have the animated standing witch. There is a lot to like about this animatronic. I'm just not the biggest fan of witches. They're just not my cup of tea. But there's a lot to like. She doesn't look super, like, low quality or anything. I think her quality looks good. She's simple, nothing crazy. She's better than those other generic seasonal vision witches that I'm tired of seeing. She has more of a classic witch vibe, which I do appreciate. And she is an affordable price of $100. She's just nothing like spectacular, nothing crazy. You know, that's why she's kind of here in this like mid-tier, a little above mid-tier. So that's the number 9 spot, because there's just nothing crazy going on with her, but she's also not terrible. Like, she's not one that I would hate on or like generally hate like those other witches in the number 13 spot. But yeah, that's all I have to say about her. Alright, now I know this one might anger some people, but at the number 8 spot, I have the 9.6 feet, or I'll just say 10-foot animated werewolf. While I do think he is really cool looking and just truly breathtaking, and I really hope to see him in person, there is one major drawback for me I have with him, which is the plastic that he is made out of. Now, I get it. He is meant to be durable outdoors, so it makes sense to be made with a durable plastic. I just am not the biggest fan of that, like, glossy finish it has on it. I know fur would be too hard to last outdoors, so I understand in that regards. But to me, it just really takes away from it because he looks very glossy and almost like a toy. But yeah, that's why I have to put him up here at the number 8 and not lower. While I do think he is really cool, just that glossy look of him really takes away. Alright, at the number 7 spot, the lucky 7, we have the animated Goblin. I think he's really cool. Now we're really starting to get into the animatronics that I think really are good. There's just so many that he's the number 7 and not lower, just because I think the ones to follow him are just slightly better. Definitely unique. We never see goblins, yet alone medieval goblins. I love his animation. I love how he just talks and then grabs the skeleton out of the bag for a jump scare. Definitely something we haven't seen before, so I really like it in that regards. Just I don't know. He just doesn't really do it for me, I guess. That's why he's lower on this list. I just think the other ones I've strike a bit more interest to me, or I just find to be overall better. But yeah, really great animatronic. I'm not saying he's a bad animatronic at all. I think he is really great, and that is why he is at the number 7 spot. All right, I'll quickly get into the number 6 spot, which is the 8-foot animated Smoldering Reaper. This guy is really cool. I love his, like, just everything about him, I think, is just really cool. He is phenomenal. I love his scythe. I love how just ginormous it is. I think it looks really cool. I love the servo mechanism in his neck. It really adds realism to him. I love the flaming chest, the flaming eyes. The red cloak is something really unique that we haven't really seen on a Reaper before. I just think he is really cool. I mean, just phenomenal. He is at the number 6 spot though, because he does lack originality, unfortunately. Just because we got the Inferno last year, which honestly might have been slightly better, and was very similar. But yeah, that's why he's at the number 6 spot and not higher on the list, just because he is something we've seen before, and let alone last year. So yeah, that's what I have to say about him. All right, and kicking off the top 5, we have Terry the Clown. Terry the Clown really just proves and exemplifies that there is still room for originality in clowns. We don't just have to keep seeing the same 7-foot towering clown reskinned after reskin, or just your generic average clown. He really excels in originality. I love the bouquet of flowers he has. I think it is a really nice added touch. His top hat, his clothing, his plaited clothing just really looks good. I love how he's more of like a skeleton clown. That's something we don't see very often, and you can see that with his skeleton like face and his hands. Just really cool. I mean, his detailing is phenomenal. The one minor issue I do have with him, I would have rather him being 6 feet as opposed to 7, because I think he would have done better at an average height rather than just towering. Like, he doesn't need to be towering. But yeah, another thing I'll mention real quick is I love his animation. The animation of him going up and down is very unique and something we haven't seen. All right, and at number 4, we have Dean the Deathologist. He's a really cool animatronic. I mean, just awesome. He just checks all the boxes in my books. Originality, execution, just straight up wow factor. I mean, I just think he's really cool. I love the animation of the drink he's pouring. I love just everything about him. I mean, of course, you're not getting some buku scary thing with him because he's a butler clown or a bartender. Like, you're not getting something scary. It's supposed to be that quirky Halloween skeleton vibe, and he really does it well. I really am a huge fan of him, and that's why I put him at the number 4 spot. I mean, and I love his mustache. I think it's hysterical. I'm looking at it right now. He's just really cool. Home Depot really knocked it out of the parks with him. All right, and at number 3, we have the 12-foot animated witch. Home Depot really knows how to bring it to the table with the 12-foot animatronics, and this is just phenomenal, no exception. The 12-foot witch is outstanding, and that's coming from me, someone who doesn't really like witches. The animation, for one, really adds just a sense of realism with her. Like, just looking at her, she looks so lifelike, and it's very simplistic animation too. But just goes to show how well simplicity can really go to show sometimes. But yeah, I mean, she's just really great. Really great. Well done. The lighting, everything about her is really cool. And at the number 2 spot, we have no one other than Oogie Boogie himself. Really, Gemmie shows that they can still bring out killer animatronics despite their lackluster quality over the years, and Oogie Boogie is no exception. He's just really, really great. I was worried about him when I saw the stock image, and while the one in the video does have a very horrendous overbite, I'm sure that's not an issue with all of them, so I'm not going to deduct points on that. But other than that, he's just really, really cool. I love him so much. His animation's amazing, yet simple. It's just it's really nice. He's really cool. I love the green lights in him. I love his LED eyes. Oh, and I love the song he sings, which I know doesn't really compare to the animatronic, but it just adds to how much I really like Oogie Boogie. While I do think Jack Skellington's still better, Oogie Boogie is still phenomenal, and that is why he is at the number 2 spot. All right, and last but certainly not least, at the number 1 spot, we have the 15-foot towering Phantom. This dude is crazy. I didn't think Home Depot could make things larger than 12 feet, yet here we are looking at a 15-foot Phantom. Just phenomenal. I love him. I think he's just outstanding. Just, no pun intended, outstanding. But anyways, he's really cool. While yeah, he's not really an animatronic. Actually, no, he is, because they even mentioned in the video that he has fans on him to help that move the fabric, which I think is really cool. That really adds a sense of realism to him, and is yet something we've never seen before. This dude's just really cool. I have no words to say for him. But yeah, and that's why he is at the number 1 spot. I hope you guys enjoyed this ranking. Of course, it is my opinion, so you do not have to agree with me whatsoever. Tell me what you think about Home Depot's 2022 animatronic lineup in the comments below. I definitely think this is a great year for them. Home Depot really knocks it out of the park. And I'm super excited for the 2022 Halloween season. That's all I have for today's video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, see ya.